it is for me to go live exactly on time. You realize I'm always like 5 minutes early, sometimes or most of the time. It's very rare that I actually start on time, but I'm in the sound booth. As you see, the black behind me, that is like felt, so it keeps the reverb off. So I don't even actually have to use the mic. So I'm not using the mic today. Uh, for a couple of reasons. You guys said that it sounded better on the phone than it did with the mic when I was outside, and maybe uh, the big thing is when it comes to YouTube, I could have a fuzzy picture, I could have a bad background, but if my sound is off, it's going to directly affect not a lot of my important stats when it comes to YouTube. And there's been a lot of studies on this, and so I thought getting a microphone. But I think with this microphone, I need to be able to run it through something like a computer where I have a soundboard to where I can, I can do the curves, I can kind of drop the decibels, kind of keep it from peaking, kind of crispen up the sound. And so I may have to wait for a minute to do something like that. Or it may end up happening a lot sooner than I think. I'm not 100% sure. I've got so much going on right now. And I kind of like to sit there and share with you guys what's going on while oh, hey, Cherokee, nice to see you. You made it here on time. Okay. And Joe Morgan, glad to see you as well. How is the homeless life going? Good afternoon, Jeremy. Good to see you guys. All right. Light up chat, guys. Start with questions. If you guys want to know what's going on, as far as like what I'm doing, what's going on in my personal life, you have questions surrounding homelessness, whatever. This is open mic. And so you guys can ask me whatever questions you want within reason, because I mean, there's some weirdos out there that are like, yeah, I'll pay you $100 to do it. No. No, not gonna happen, especially considering I'm in the library. So I definitely can't do something like that. Hey, Jeremy, glad to see you heading home from work. Well, listen, also, did you get my email? Um, I have not looked at the email yet. I will look at it afterwards. I have been. So what I did today was I'm really okay. So let me kind of show you the progression of how I got to this point, so you guys can understand. Because I know a lot of you guys are new and you don't fully understand everything that I have been struggling with for the whole time. So if you actually go on to Rumble, you'll find about the 150 to 200 videos that I deleted last year. So it's been almost a year since I've deleted. I went and re-deleted because I thought, okay, I'm reforming the channel, so on and so forth. And on some hands, that was actually a good idea, but on the other hand, it wasn't. But there's some over there on Rumble. And so in order for me to get monetized, it was more like sheer willpower to get monetized than it was anything else. And a lot of what it was is just like, dude, I've put up over 500 videos. Okay, if you really want to get to the real number, I mean, I saw it. Okay. And my biggest problem is it's not really my knowledge or the content which I put out. Now, with this microphone, it's making me sound monotone. I'm just going to have to figure it out. Maybe just come in and do it right here in the Sound Lab and just, get used to doing that and just do it a couple of times a week. Maybe even just do some voiceovers, things like that. But I've just been working on making sure to, my content has always been decent. It's not the greatest, it's not the best. I mean, there is much better content out there than mine if you want to talk about cinematography and editing skills and stuff like that, because I'm not putting a lot of effort into it, because I put most of my effort into the content, and I ask myself what it is that you guys want, and what it is that you guys are searching for, so that I can answer that question and not only share my wisdom from all the time I've been on and off the streets, but to be able to make a little bit of money off of my wisdom as well. I mean, it's we're in that age where everything that you've learned, because everything's kind of becoming lost knowledge, that simple pieces of wisdom that were normal to be passed down from generation to generation have not been passed down. And so we have got a whole generation of useful idiots, and I'm right on the edge of that, and I'm very close to being a useful idiot in a lot of ways. That's just kind of the way I see myself. I know some of you guys may not think that way, but anyways, so I just going along, getting monetized, and then all of a sudden, right here before I left Cincinnati, about 7 months ago now, maybe 8 months ago. I dropped a video. It was Beginner's Guide to Being Homeless, How to Be Homeless. And that video taught me a lot. That video now is sitting at about 8,500 views. It is my most viewed video. It is what has brought a lot of you guys here to me. That is my flagship video. And I have been trying to figure out ways to be able to create it, because I get about 1,500 to 2,000 views a month just from that video. And so that's $10 I didn't have to work for, because I'm getting a residual income off of something that I did that is, very useful and highly sought after, enough to give me a couple thousand views a month. Okay. And this only happened when I started using the vidIQ AI tool. So I use the title, and that's how I came up with Beginner's Guide to Being Homeless, How to Be Homeless. And then that is also how I came up with the description. And because I entered in the keywords and the AI did all that for me, that all of a sudden is part of what took my channel to the next level. I actually did that on a few videos. You get 3 of them a month. So I would go back, and some of them, the thing is it took a few months before the algorithm picked it up and it became really searchable, and started moving up the the list as far as being able to be searchable, because I have like 5 videos on how to make money when you're homeless. And yet when I search for that, not a single one of my videos show up. There's maybe 4 or 5 videos on topic and it doesn't show it. And this is something that I'm trying to figure out what's going on, if it's me, if it's YouTube, if there's something else going with the way that they're doing the algorithm, because they really don't want you searching that topic. They're trying to redirect you in a different way. Who knows? Okay. So but this taught me a huge lesson. So what I ended up doing today, because I've been looking at it now, to be able to have the AI tool so I could go do every single video moving forward using it has a tool that will do my thumbnail. So if you go look at probably the last 20 videos, because I did that today, you'll see that there's a new thumbnail, a new title, and a new description. Okay. And because, I'm using the AI tool to do that, I'm hoping that it will lead to 10 to 20,000 views a month that I can rely on top of my new content. Okay. And so that is going to set a foundation, because if I'm on a 7-day free trial right now, so I'm trying to do all the free stuff I can. Okay. But, once that free trial is up, if I have $200, I get it for the year. Otherwise, when payday comes around, I may end up spending $50 a month for it, because I see the value in it, because I've made so much money just from one video, from one tweak. So if I have 200 videos that are visible to all of you guys, then what that means is that I'll probably get at least 5 or 10 of them to give me another 1,500 to 2,000 views a month, and that will kind of add to it and kind of move me in the direction that I want to do. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably don't like listening to a lot of what's going on behind, as far as like what it is that I'm doing, but I kind of want to share this with you, because I have gotten involved with the homeless entrepreneurship group. And so one of the things that was asked of me, because me and the founder, because it's a very small NGO, him and I have sat back and we've had some conversations. As I've been going through the process, I just got to meet. She's like a business development specialist. So what she's doing is helping me manage my time better. She is helping me do all the little nuances, figure out what's important, what to prioritize, and all these different things. And just because, I'm doing this as a form of a business does not mean that homeless entrepreneurship or the group itself is not available to you. What it really, if you want to go find a job, these guys will help you as well. But they're not going to just help you go find a job. They're going to help you do what it is that is necessary to put you in front of the right people, to give you the right connections, so that when you get the job that you're trying to get that will fit you, that you can move up through the ranks, that you can excel within the company, that you can be an entrepreneur within the company, because not everybody's set up to own a business, and not everybody's set up to go work for somebody. I don't do well working for somebody. I do better working for me. You may work better working for yourself, because you don't want to, or working for somebody else because you don't want to deal with the risk of working for yourself, just because it's scary. You've got a lot of obligations. You like the creature comforts and all of that stuff. Okay. So these guys will assist you with that. So if you guys are interested in something like that, you would like something like that, if you would reach out to me via email, and what I will do is I will forward your information off to my contact there, and he will reach out to you and see if there's anything that he can do for you. But you got to be homeless, or at least on the verge of homelessness. But that's something, that's a connection of a service that, because of the things that this channel has done, because you guys are here and you guys are participating in the channel, that has allowed connections like this to be made. Because how many other how many other advocate groups that are out there, how many content creators that talk about the homeless issue have gotten a connection like this? Because honestly, if you want to get off the streets, and you really want to get off the streets and make sure that you'll never go on the streets again, you can't go back and do what it is that you originally did, which is what put you out there to begin with. Okay, you may have been working a job you absolutely hated. Okay, great, you hated that job. Okay, and because you hated that job, you didn't work as well, which led to you getting a pink slip. Okay, happens. Well, what is it that that is your passion? What is it that you have the skill set for, that is your passion, that you can go off and do? And then how can you excel at that? Because not only will you be doing something that you enjoy, but it's something that you have the drive to be able to excel at. Okay, and once you get to that point, you will always be valuable, because the thing is your passions is what will end up being your best skill. So for me, I love history, I love politics. Okay, so I am very astute when it comes to the political realm and kind of understanding what's going on and the behind the scenes things. Same thing with history, because both go hand in hand. Okay, versus somebody who just kind of dabbles in it, it's kind of a hobby, stuff like that. It's more than a hobby to me. It's more like, not necessarily an obsession, but very close to it. Okay, and so, when you get to that point, you can talk about it, you can do the work, and you can do it passionately, which means that you bring more value to the employer and to the workplace and to the end consumer. And therefore, by making yourself more valuable, you are able to not only ensure job security, but ensure a livable wage, which those are two things that you need to do in order to make sure that you never get on the streets ever again. Okay, because a lot of it has to do with income, because income leads to mental instability, leads to housing instability. Okay, and if you're able to really get that foundation set up, and that's what Homeless Entrepreneur is for. Okay, they're not sponsoring this, I'm not getting paid for any of this, but I believe in what it is that they're doing, which is why I'm signed up and going through the program myself, so that I can kind of tell you about the experience. And I'm telling you, the experience has been pretty good. Because it's a small organization, you're going to have a lot more face-to-face contact, stuff like that. Okay, so that's my plug for the day. If you guys are wanting to build that foundation so that you can get off the streets and stay off the streets, it's not going to cost you any money. It's going to cost you your time, effort, and energy, which you have plenty of. All right, if you're willing to put forth that effort so that you don't have to experience this again, reach out to me, friartuck@hobotuck.com, and I will forward your information off to him, and then he will reach out to you shortly. Basically, just in the email, just put name, and email, and whether you're looking to start a business or you are looking to excel in the workplace. And in that way, he kind of has something to go on when he contacts you to figure out what it is that you want to do and how he can help you. Okay, because this is a rare opportunity. If you are homeless, and it's very, very rare that you ever get an opportunity like this, where you have an organization that is geared towards helping, because most of it is geared towards keeping you homeless. These guys are geared towards ensuring that you're off the streets and you stay off the streets, and giving you the tools. It's not about money, because they're not giving you money and you're not giving them money, but they're giving you connections, they're giving you education, they're giving you resources, and that is more valuable than any dollar when you're really trying to accomplish a goal like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, because I see you guys have been lighting up chat. Okay, so we've said hi. So DFH, hey, what's going on? Hey, Jeremy. Okay, so Much better. Dope man. Okay, now Mormon itchy. Oh, that's funny. So monetized was a happy accident. You know what though? Congratulations on being monetized. That's just the first step. Your goal is to get to the 1,000 and 4,000 watch hour, or no, to get to 1,000. And then once you get to that 1,000, you start getting your ad revenue. And then once you get to 5,000, you can start getting sponsorships. So for guys like us that are out on the streets, this is a way for us to be able to get quality free gear, to be able to review it, and to be able to make a little bit of money while doing it. I mean, come on, it's like being paid to exist. You can't get anything better than that. And so that's even why I'm working towards the 5,000 subscribers. Okay. Would you ever work a Renaissance fair? Oh, hell yes. Redbeard's hard to come by, and Sam would appreciate all the turkey leg scraps. You know what, Alfred? I would if there was something that was close, because there's a girl that I watch that does, oh, I like the cosplay stuff. I won't ever do it, but I would definitely show up and participate in it because I would be entertained by it. But it's just like tattoos. I enjoy tattoos, but I'll never get one. Okay. You have consistency, and that's a plus. Yes, that is true. Okay, I got some good info from a guy in Richmond, Virginia. I'm heading that way, I believe. It's too much to type. I can send you a screenshot anywhere. Okay, yeah. FriarTuck at hobotuck.com. That's my website. If you want to get part of the newsletter, make sure you subscribe. Then when you confirm, you'll also get a link to a guide. And as I create new guides, that will be how you get it. And we'll go from there. So stuff is starting to kick in. Feel the nod. Okay. Can you give out the contact information for them? Yes. FriarTuck at hobotuck.com. Oh, that's where you research for homeless entrepreneur. He has a website, or not a website, a YouTube channel. Okay. If you want to go search for him yourself, you can go to his YouTube channel. Because when he sends you his contact information, his YouTube channel's in there. It's the homeless entrepreneur. He does a TED Talk where he uses cardboard signs to be able to do a narrative of homelessness, and him being one of the first homeless entrepreneurs. Actually, one of the first ones to be publicly recognized, but he's not the first homeless entrepreneur. There have been many before him hundreds of years ago. Okay, so well, one thing I've discovered is a person that made over $100,000 last year is that the homelessness can happen to anybody through no fault of their own. Yes, that American Patriot, you're 100% correct for a couple of reasons. Okay. Homeowners insurance. If you don't have homeowners insurance, you can't keep your home. If you can't find anybody to, so either you have two choices: you pay it off or you get foreclosed on. Now, if you watch my video on the homeless crisis, I forgot what it's been changed to right now, but if you watch my video on losing your home, you will see something in there that will help you with if you're in a trust deed state and you get in that predicament. It is something that the Freeman did during the '08 crash. It saved a lot of people from losing their homes. And so I want to make sure to pass this knowledge on as we go through yet another crash. But yes, this is something, I had a work injury. And then, 9/11 happened right after that. And between all that stuff and just me just going, man, I'm struggling. It's just, anything can cause you to be homeless because, and what makes homelessness so fragile is the high cost of living. Do you have the ability with a minimum wage job to be able to save 10% of your income, not 30 or 40% like a lot of the people that make more money, but at least save 10%, pay your rent, pay your bills, and have a couple of dollars to go out maybe once or twice a month, okay, on minimum wage? I mean, that's a reasonable expectation, okay? And and still be able to put 10% away so that in the event that something happens, you have the ability to protect yourself. Well, the thing is your rent and everything else is taking that. And if you watch the homeless crisis, when I also talk about the what was it, the website that's artificially inflated. This is a scandal. It's going to be a scandal to the point to where it's going to cause so much damage that they may get sued and shut down by the federal government, but it won't happen until it's too late and then too much damage has already been done. Hey, All America Prepper, glad to see you. Always glad to see you. Dude looks like a caveman. Yes, and keep your women away from me. I do have a billy club, and I will drag them back to my cave. Um, so how's it all going? Okay, I need more sponsorship. Um, I don't know anything about sponsorship. That's one thing that I'm working with. You know, you might want to All American Prepper because of your situation. I believe that that they would help you as well. With the homeless entrepreneurship, and it would at least throw some clout behind the things in which you do. They may be able to help you. You know, that's just my thoughts. I cannot speak for him, and I may say I think he can help you, but then turns out that it's just you don't fit within the program that he's trying to do, and I don't want to make any false assumptions or anything else like that. But bro, we do that live, and it will be 5,000 subscribers. Well, All American Prepper, you've asked me to do a live with you. I keep saying send me an email. FriarTuck@Hobotuck.com or JasonTheWise81 at Yahoo.com. Those are the two places you want to be able to do it, because we're going to do a go live together, which means I need a link. You and I need to set up a schedule. I need to know what the topic is. I need to be able to get myself in a sound booth and a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of logistics that I got to get in place. And so, yeah, we got to schedule this. If you want to schedule it, send me an email. I have been waiting for somebody. I've had a lot of people say I want to do I want to do a collab, or I want to do a live stream with you, including Mark Horvath over at Invisible People. I keep trying to reach out, but there are some restrictions on some of it. Like with Mark Horvath, you cannot message him, but yeah, he says message me. Well, I sent him an email. I'm still never heard back from him. Okay, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? But it's just I don't know what else to say. If you want to do it, I'm open, but you got to send me an email. I gotta have it planned. It's not something I can just do on the fly, as much as I would like to. Okay, wife and I are considering a road trip to Cincy summer. Maybe hang. Oh hell yeah, Jeremy! If you come here to. If you come here to Cincy, well, we can meet along the river or whatever, and you can meet Sam and get all kinds of lovin's. And you know, I warn you, she jumps and she's a little mouthy, but you know, she'll be a little princess for you. You'll get to see her. I'd like her to get to meet you as well, considering all the stuff that you've helped her out with. I mean, it's been. I'm really glad that you guys have stepped up to kind of help me deal with Sam, because I can't afford the things that she needs, and you guys have really stepped up, especially Jeremy. Very, very much appreciated. So, Crash seems to be more on the horizon. Yes, it is on the horizon. Friar Tuck would be an awesome Friar Tuck and medieval friar. Yeah, all you got to do is just get me the brown robe and the rope. I don't have the rope anymore. Sam chewed it. Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah, I was I had to learn patience with that dog. I really did. So you could enlist as background actor, perhaps at some agency. I hope it just does not cost money. I don't know. I mean, look, if the experience comes by and I'm open to do the experience, because there was a time I had, and there was this girl, oh, gorgeous, gorgeous woman, and she was flirting with me, and she's like, yeah, I'm a carny, you want to come off to the carny with me? And I'm like, I'm on my way to work, and I've got a good job. You're gorgeous, and that'll be fun and everything, but that job is not, that's not gonna allow me to accomplish my goals. It was the hardest thing to turn that girl down, because I knew what was gonna happen, and yeah, I would have been a happy man for a short period of time. But you know, it's just when opportunities like that come across, I do them. You know, just like hopping rails. I didn't plan for it; it just happened. And that's kind of how I experience life, and that's what I love about life, is being able to experience life on the fly. Because if you plan everything out, life is boring. If you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants, I'll tell you about an experience I had last night. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you about an experience I had last night. Okay, so about 1 o'clock in the morning, this whole group of party animals shows up, just starts screaming. Not because they're, just to scream. They're just screaming to scream. And Sam's starting to crawl in the sleeping bag with me. She's starting to get a little unnerved, stuff like that. I'm dealing with it. And they're drunk off their ass. And this girl wants to grab at Sam. Okay. And the guy is trying to stop her, but she's just like full on linebacker. Like, I mean, this woman, she could definitely, she was trying to grab at Sam. So I got up, I got in the middle of it. And it almost led to an altercation. I actually had so much adrenaline, it took me about a half hour to calm down. I was shaking for that long. Because I had that much adrenaline running through my system. I think part of what de-escalated it was because, when you lay down, you kind of unbutton your pants, not unzip, pull them up. No, just kind of unbutton, just kind of like let your, because, anyways, I don't know about you guys, but, and so like I stood up and I wasn't really thinking. And so I'm trying to grab my pants and not show everybody everything I got because they're about to fall off. And so, I mean, I'm grabbing at that and they're realizing, yeah, this guy may want to fight us, but he can't really do anything. He's too busy holding his pants up. But anyways, it led to a de-escalation, which then led to me actually having a little bit of respect for these guys, getting to know them, being able to tolerate the issue. Sam was snoring through it after that. Once they calmed down and kind of stopped being too high energy, she was able to do it. But that was an experience. I could have gotten up, packed up. I could have escalated things even further. Now, I would have taken probably about 4 of them out, maybe 5, and injured a couple more, but I would have lost that altercation because there was too many. And it doesn't matter how much I have. There's still limitations to everything I have. And so there was such a horde that I couldn't do it myself. Okay. And so, on one hand, the de-escalation worked out in my favor, but on the other hand, it could have gone the other way. But having that experience and getting to know those kids and to be able to have everything escalate and then de-escalate and to see some 21, 22, 23-year-olds be wise enough to step up and go, whoa, 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 let's calm down and let's figure this out. Now that was something I have not seen in a very, very long time. That is something that you would have seen 20, 30 years ago, but now everybody's so volatile, their head just flies off. Most people, that situation would have escalated, and I probably wouldn't be here today. At the very least, I would be in the hospital because, again, that situation would have escalated because people's pride, their ego, stuff like that. Who cares that I'm trampling on you? It's okay that I can do it. You can't say anything about it. That's the mentality of people. It's like, I can do whatever I want without consequence. And then when somebody stands up and goes, I'm done, you're crossing a boundary and it's going too far, then you want to act all upset, like the whole world is against you, da 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 da. And we have gone to what I like to call, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what's called a laissez-faire society. Okay, so you have the authoritarian society, okay, and under authoritarians, that's where like the punishment reward system comes from. You do this, I give you a reward. You do this, you get punished. This is how I train you. This is how I get you to do it. And then it plays out in everything that we do in society, even at the marketplace, even in relationships. If you do good, you make your girl feel good, then you get happy time. If you don't, she cuts you off, you don't get it. Reward punishment. Okay, it's the way that the whole world works. Okay, and this is really good in a factory setting, but now we're going to the digital marketplace, and we have gone because we go from one side to the other, one extreme to the other extreme to the other extreme to the other extreme. So going from an authoritarian society where if you acted out, your mom was gonna beat your butt right there in the store, and everybody would sit there and clap and go, good job, to now you do something like that, you're going to prison because we are now laissez-faire, which means no rule, no nothing. Okay, so non-author is basically non-authoritarian. So with a non-authoritarian, So I met the Rothschild I met, he was raised laissez-faire or non-authoritarian, which means what his parents did is they put about $5 million in a trust, gave him or hired a godfather slash mentor that would be with him for the rest of his life to be his confidant and to kind of guide him. He's an older gentleman that is there to pass on wisdom. And when it comes to going to school, if he doesn't feel like going to school, he doesn't feel like going to school. And if he doesn't want to learn English, he doesn't have to learn English. If he doesn't want to do this, he doesn't have to do that. Okay. And finally something interests him, and it's like, okay, well, I need to do in order to be able to do what I want to do, I need to catch up on all this stuff that I said no to. And because their desire to learn it, because of their desire to complete a specific task, they will learn at a much faster pace and a much faster rate. So there are positives to it, but it works in education, not everything in life. You cannot have laissez-faire, because that is the reason why I have the issues that I have with Sam. It's because people think that my dog is theirs, and they think that they have every right to come up and tell me how to do with my dog, how to handle my dog, and that they have the right to grab at her, pet her, treat her as their own, give her commands, grab her by the snout, and try and actually dominate her as if it was their own damn dog. Yes, I almost got into a fight with a guy over it because, yeah, he was just stupid. And you got people like that. That's what happens in a laissez-faire society. But what's going to end up happening is, because nobody has forms of reaction, is you're going to get things that are going to be like flash mobs in the middle of nowhere. Because what we went on last night kind of was almost a flash mob as well. Okay. And so, there was a fight that happened and stuff like that. I didn't see anything. I don't know anything. I kind of heard the aftermath, but I don't know anything. Okay. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. And it's just, you're going to have something like that. That's what's going to happen in the cities, is that these people that have disagreements. So, for example, what's happening here in Cincinnati is there's reports, and even within the community, they're like, hey, whites are being attacked by blacks in Cincinnati, and this is becoming an epidemic because it's now being spotlighted by the news. Now, is it an epidemic? It could be, it couldn't be, it just depends. The news is, their whole job is to sow fear and concern, and this is the, interracial tensions is something that you can exploit and get lots of views. Okay. And so therefore they may be using it for that purpose, or it may actually be something legit, but we don't know because there's too much bias in the news and we can't trust it. Okay. But so there is this story of this white couple that comes out of a church, comes out of a wedding. A bunch of black kids, young kids, probably 20 and under, come up and beat the crap out of the husband and wife while everybody stands there and watches. Okay. And so this has racial tensions here in the city, a little up in ends, at least. There's grumblings of it because of that happening, in the same way that there was racial tensions after George Floyd, but this was on the opposite foot. You don't think that it only happens one way. Okay. So with that being said, what was it that those couples did? They go to a club and somebody just got a little lippy, and then next thing you know, they're like, I'm gonna beat your butt at your wedding. The violence is not necessarily random. We just don't know what led up to that, and the news isn't going to tell us. The police are not going to tell us. All they're going to tell us is that this happened so that they can sow fear and contention among us. Okay, but that's what's going to end up happening as we see these cities fall apart. Okay, these cities will fall apart. They will and they will fall apart because you will have so many different factions fighting amongst each other. It's gonna go from happening at night like it used to in the 50s, where they would have flash mobs, where they would sit there, come with their chains and their clubs and all that stuff, and everybody, nobody was trying to end somebody's life. It was just two factions of kids that decided to have a turf war. Okay, it was brutal, but there was still some rules of, we still want to live to see another day. Okay, but with the way that this is going to go, I think that this is how cities are going to play out. This is my opinion based upon what I see, what I observe, and kind of the way that things are going. And I've been saying this for a minute now. And I'm just wondering what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is what we're going to see from cities? Or do you think we're going to see all-out open civil unrest and contentions? Because I think it's not going to be just just race based. It's going to be political based. It's going to be class based. It is going to be gender based. Men against women, whites against blacks, Hispanics. You're also going to see rich against poor. And these different factions are going to go and they're going to war against each other for various reasons. And I think eventually it will come out to the front, but I don't really think that it will come out to the front like everybody expects. It will be something that slowly brews until it just becomes something that everybody knows, and then okay. So I'm curious what you guys think. Okay, so would be an awesome. Okay, enlist. Okay, that's awesome. You could cosplay. Yes, I'd love to cosplay. Holy moly, the path not taken. Yes. Don't want to have restricted blood flow while sleeping. Yes. Okay. Yo, bro. Hey, what's up, Outdoors? Glad to see you, man. There's rarely any winners in a fight. Yes, but you know what? I think that, okay, so in Oregon, they have something that's called Measure 11. With Measure 11, if you get into a fight, it's like 30 days in jail. Second time, 6 months in jail. Third time, 5 years. Okay, just for getting into a fight. People are going to have contention. People are going to have disagreements. I mean, we have a history of presidents that have had duels. Okay, so to think that man is going to be so civilized and so passive that he's just going to be able to explain. Sometimes words just cannot do it, whether it be your vocabulary and your IQ, or whether it be just the stubbornness and ignorance and whatever of the individual that you're dealing with, or you yourself. Okay, so to take away an avenue to be able to have an altercation, to be able to settle it, because years ago you could get into a fight with somebody and then go have a beer afterwards. It was like, okay, we had a disagreement, I won. So we had an argument, I won. That's kind of the way it works out. And nowadays it is so like something like that happens, you got police involved and all that other stuff. You have to have some outlet for people to be able to solve their altercations, because I would rather two people go fisticuffs than two people go knife fighting or gun fighting or sword fighting or anything else like that, because there's way more opportunities for it to be dangerous and lethal versus a little bit of pain, some bruises, and a wounded pride. Okay, I mean, that's really what you're going to deal with. All right, and so by taking that away, what it's doing is it's giving people more creative ways to be able to do the same thing, so that they can be able to settle differences, because again, sometimes words do not work no matter how much we like them to. Okay, exactly. Okay, some French, I believe, laissez-faire. Yes, yeah, it is French. It happens, anything goes, no rule. Yes, that is laissez-faire. That is that is a French term. Hey, what's going on, Bushcraft? Glad to see you. How are you doing? I hope everything is great. Okay, I've seen a mob once. It happened fast. Huh, that must have been something to see. I've never seen a mob. I've seen protests, but I haven't seen a mob yet. Oh, wait. I have. But it was in the office. One day I will have to tell you that story, but I really don't feel like telling it today, because we've already kind of started going in that gray area and I don't want to go there again. Okay, so 0, then 50, then 100 people clashing, guy stabbed a guy. Yep. Yeah, mob mentality is something that is very scary. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you can be in. When you see a mob forming, you run away and run as far away as you possibly can. Either that or get on the edge of it. So fear mongering, doom documenting, doom dissecting. Yeah, okay, yeah. The more turf wars, the better for the oligarchy. Yes, okay. I'm a student of Lee Brobst. Okay, he wrote Eye of the Eagle. He wrote, if you guys are familiar with USA, the Republic, a house that no one lives in. It was something that became really famous in 2009, but it was originally written in 1991 or 92. No, it had to have been written in 91, because he started his newsletter in 89. Okay, somebody was just nice enough to make a digital copy of all this, which is really, really good, and I'm really, really happy that all that happened. But with Lee Brobst, one of the things that he said is that we as a globe of citizens have stood up and pushed against the oligarchy. Now, we've allowed them to control, and we can sit there and say, oh, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. Yes, you have. Okay. They're doing it right now, and you don't even realize it because you're too busy getting caught up in the hysteria instead of taking a 50,000-foot view and looking at what are your decisions, what decisions are being made for you by the hysteria that is being propagated. Okay. Um, and the when we unite as a globe and we push back against the ruling elite, they understand that they are outnumbered, and then they go into hiding for a while, and then they kind of, because they get spanked, they go into hiding for a while, and then they come back out and they try again. Okay, and this has been an ebb and flow, and we've gone through this cycle multiple times. Right now, we're going through one of those big pushes. It started with the yellow vests, okay, and the yellow vest turned into the trucker protests, which is turned into other things. We are seeing a pushback, but it is a tempered and slow to react pushback. And I think as things escalate even further and even quicker, that the pushback is going to start being quicker. But eventually what's going to happen is you're going to see things like the peasant wars of the medieval times, where, you had leaders, but as soon as the leader was taken out, the rebellion was squashed, and the ruling elites reasserted their dominance over the peasant population. Okay. And we're going through everything works in cycles. Okay, everything works in cycles, and so we're at that point in that cycle, which is where we're pushing back, and they are pushing even harder, because right now we're playing for an end game. You can only get pushed back so many times before you go, if I lose, I need to die on this hill, and if I don't, you know what I mean. So but anyways, let's go see what else we got to see. Okay. Stonewall Jackson fought, I think, 111 duels. Andrew Jackson is my favorite. Now, if you want to know who my political heroes are, and neither conservative nor liberals of the modern era absolutely like these people, most people don't even know who these people are. I've actually done enough research because I truly, truly loved, I truly loved doing the research and finding out who these individuals are. Andrew Jackson, what made him so important, other than the Battle of New Orleans, which was a great thing for American pride, okay? But what he really did, okay, so the War of 1812 was because Madison, I believe, it was either Madison or Franklin that was president at the time. I think it was Madison. Decided to close or not renew the charter of the First Bank of England. Okay, well, and because of that, that was already going to lead to war. So we decided to strike first blow by going to Canada. We actually got our butt whooped, as much as people like to think that we didn't. During the War of 1812, Washington, D.C. got razed, and there are very few things that were actually saved from Washington, D.C. being burned down, which is also where we get the White House from. Okay, so what he did is he fought to not renew the second charter of the first bank, or the second first bank of the United States. Okay, which is a central bank, just like the Federal Reserve. Okay, this was set up by Alexander Hamilton, who was an agent of the bankers of England, and he was the one who got their tentacles inside. So everybody who thinks Alexander Hamilton, and history tells you how great Alexander Hamilton was. Alexander Hamilton, if you really want to look at it, if you're a true American patriot, that man was a traitor, worse than anything that Benedict Arnold did, because at least Benedict Arnold switched sides when there was still a side to choose, versus being an infiltrator. Okay. And so with the second first bank of the United States being abolished, and that was how he got reelected. And there is historical documentation where they were having all-out argument in the New York Times editorial section, where you have these bankers that are telling Andrew Jackson that we're going to come after you, we're going to send the United States into a recession. He got in with small business owners and really said, hey, look, I need you to support me. This is the fight that we're going on. But what most people don't realize is that Andrew Jackson was also a communist and a communist sympathizer, okay? Because the communists of that time believed that the money belonged to the people. And so that was why he fought to be able to end the second first bank of the United States, was because of his communist beliefs. Okay, we've actually had several non-republic. Yeah. Anyways, not every president has been a federalist. We'll just leave it that way. Okay, so with him, he was able to do that, and because of that is why we got the civil wars, because the bankers were pissed off that that we closed the bank and that they couldn't bring us to our knees and make us beg for mercy financially, because he was strong enough and he was able to unite the people enough to be able to fight against the bankers. This is why Donald Trump is no Andrew Jackson, because Donald Trump cannot unite the people against the bankers, because the bankers are his friends. Okay, whether you want to call it or not, they are. Okay, but anyways, and there's even documentation of that within the New York Times, because Abraham Lincoln was given 30% versus the 10% that the South was given, and so therefore his Treasury Secretary reminded him that the Constitution gave him the right to create. To create money, which is where the greenbacks came from, which again we defaulted on, but it was a way to be able to fight the bankers. It wasn't until Woodrow Wilson, just like Alexander Hamilton, was co-opted, and we got the Federal Reserve. So that is why I love Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson did more for the American public than any other president ever has. One, two. Thomas Paine is the father of the Bill of Rights. Thomas Paine is actually the father of this country. If you really, really, really want to get to it, go read, go read Common Sense and tell me how Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and all those people were able to come up with this idea. When it was his idea, it was what he was trying to market. And what ended up happening is that all of the so-called founding fathers took his message, but because he was a deist, a self-proclaimed deist, he was cut out of history, and so he should actually have all of the not necessarily glory, but notoriety for being the father of the United States, our federalist system, because he was a true federalist, and he gave us a lot of warnings and telling us that we were going down the wrong path. Okay, Thomas Paine was a very, very wise and intelligent man, and if you read Age of Reason, I mean, just like what he did with Common Sense, he sparked another revolutionary war, but this time it was in France in 1803. He was jailed within a couple of hours of publishing the book, because it was considered heresy against the church. Okay, those are my political heroes, if you guys are curious. And when I look at the way this country is run and the way that life goes, I look at it from their perspective as them being my influence. So, okay, so yeah, Stonewall Jackson. Okay, just like prison. Okay. Oh, I can see that they want some turf wars. Okay. Yep, 3,000 plus convict and less than 100 guards. And Florida has actually been using the National Guard to shore up their prisons, if you didn't know that. And I think quite a few other states are as well. So they're using National Guard in these prisons right now. So you could almost call them political prisoners at this point in time. If we could all get over the BS the prison could have been. Well, hold on. That goes back. The guy that does the whole dialectic thing, his model was what Europe adopted, and that's why Europe has such a low incarceration rate, and they have a completely different culture and society, because they chose true reform. Here in the United States, there's too much money to be made off of it, so why would you ever want to reform it? Because we need the money. I'm $100 million is just not enough. I need three. And that's just kind of the way it goes. Oh. Okay, so sorry guys, I got a tailbone issue. Why don't eggs tell jokes? Because they crack each other up. That's funny. Hey, random stuff. Have you seen the guy that's doing the dad jokes with aliens? Now that I think you would like that. So stay in control. Oh, dad jokes. Yes. So anyways, guys, we have talked for about 45 minutes. That's pretty good. And I went off on my own diatribe. I know some of you guys just really aren't interested in this. You want to know about homelessness and stuff like that. So, but oh God, I had a dad joke. I can't remember it anymore. I wish my memory was much better. But anyways, So if you want to help the channel, how can you help the channel? Well, you can become a subscriber. That's one way. You can share my content, because the more people that this gets in front of, the quicker I get to the point where I can get myself off these streets. Okay. I am doing a hard push. I know some of you guys may be a little annoyed about it, but Sam and I need to be off the streets by November 1st. We have to be off the street. We cannot survive here in Cincinnati. I mean, we can, but it will be absolutely miserable. And at that point in time, we may have to reevaluate whether or not we stay in Cincinnati. And I would like to not keep moving, because it's finally having the stability is working. Okay. So become a subscriber, share the video, leave me comments, participate, show up. Everything else is down in the description. If you want to get part of my newsletter, which I'm going to start sending out a newsletter, I'm going to start trying to send it out either Sunday or Monday, or I might send it out on Fridays. But in the next week, if you are subscribed to my newsletter on my website, I will be sending out a newsletter. And I'm gonna kind of on each platform, in each mode of communication, I'm going to have a different thing in which I talk about. I'm going to be talking more about advocacy and awareness in the newsletter, and also plans of action. Okay, so if you want to become a homeless advocate, or you want to be able to advocate for the homeless in your area, and you'd like to be able to understand some things that you could do and things like that, that's what this newsletter is really going to be about, is to be able to educate and inform you guys so that you can go out to your representatives and offer viable solutions that are well thought out based upon the culture and needs of your region, your area, and be able to work on fixing homelessness in your area. Because the truth is, homelessness can only be fixed one person at a time. Now you could go housing first, and now everybody's homeless, or not everybody's housed. We've ended homelessness, but have we really ended homelessness? Because homelessness is a status. It's a frame of mind. It does not truly depict what's really going on. What's going on is that society, in its gross mismanagement and gross negligence and destructive behavior in the name of profit and power and control, is harming a section of society. It is called natural attrition, and this is the attrition that everybody is okay with. But to say that it's okay to have this attrition means that you do not value human life, nor do you value your own life, because you too could be part of this attrition. Okay, and so that is something to consider if you were thinking about, well, why would I want to do it? Well, because the thing is eventually this will affect you. Just like the guy said in World War II, they came for this group, I said nothing. They came for this group, I said nothing. They came for this group, I said nothing. Finally, they came for me, and there was no one left. Okay, and then you don't want to be that person. You don't. If you want to be proactive and do your part, this is the time, because the homeless are the first. Okay, the homeless are the first group. And then the next group is going to be the politically marginalized. Okay. And then the next group is going to be the religious. And then the next group is going to be this. And the next group is going to be that, until they dwindle it down to they've convinced everybody to turn against everybody, to where they have these mindless drones that are willing to sacrifice themselves in ritual to the state. Okay. And that's just, you don't want to allow that to happen. If you don't stop this now, it will be coming for you or your posterity soon enough. Okay? So it sounds like you are perfect, but society is screwed up. No, I'm not perfect. Hell no, I'm very flawed. I suck. But the thing is when I'm talking about within society, is there is human dignity. You've got to be able to treat a human being with basic dignity, basic respect. Okay, you're not there to fight them. You're not there to create contention. Keep to yourself. Mind your own business. Respect their privacy in the same way you'd like your privacy respected. Respect their property in the same way you want your property respected. And if you're not willing to do that, then when they disrespect your property, well, then don't get upset when they do that. Okay, and that's just kind of the way it works. So am I perfect? No, but I also understand that there's a consequence for every action, and what you do to others will do to you. And we can keep going around and around and around, but an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. And there's a reason why they say that. So I could get to you, you could get to me, because the law of cause and effect says I have the right to do that. But at some point in time, somebody has to be wiser and realize that they have to break that cycle. Okay. So am I perfect? Hell no. Never. Never. I don't say I'm the most flawed individual, but I am a flawed individual. I have my shortcomings. I have the things that I suck at. And I have my own struggles in life. But just like George Washington, I work every day on what I consider to be my virtues, which is humanism. The human being is being the best human to my fellow human that I could possibly be. And instead of taking a religious point of view, I understand that we are all human and we are all one, and what we do to the least of us, we do to the most of us. Okay. And because that's just the way the world works. Okay. You can try and do it differently, but that's just the way the world works. Okay. So no such thing as perfect, and none of us are, but society is messed up. Yes, exactly, Jeremy. Lies, Friar Tuck is perfect. Yeah, I'm perfect, all right. You know what? There's two definitions of perfect. And one definition, I am perfect. The other one, I am not. The first definition is what most people think of when they think of perfect, which is flawless. But the second definition of perfect, which is what I am, which is whole and complete. I am a whole person and I am a complete person. I may be a flawed person, but I am whole and I am complete. So therefore, I am perfect. I'm designed as intended. And, so anyways, so adjust or stand up to society. You know what, though? Why would you want to stand up to society? I mean, that's really where we're at. People say bad things happen when good men do nothing. But what happens when good men stand up and then they're left to die on that hill because nobody will rally behind them because they're either too afraid or they're something else is going on that's really way more messed up. That's why that's why bad things happen when good men do nothing. You can't just sit there and go, oh, yeah, well, you're a good guy, you're supposed to do something. No. Society will come to a point where a good man will lose motivation to do the right thing because why? Why? Everybody that grabs at Sam and stuff like that. Why do I try and follow the rules? Why do I respect property? Why do I try and abide by the laws as 100% as much as I possibly can? Not because I have to, not because I'm scared of it, but because I know it's the right thing to do. And that is part of being a contributing member of society. Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean I get to, be a law-breaking vagrant. No, I try to as much as possible. And it's the same thing within society. I mean, you can do what you can do. So, okay, perfect imperfections. Okay, no need to stand up alone. Yes, I mean, why would you want to stand up alone? You get suicided by the powers that be, because we lack unity. Okay. You have your leaders and you have your followers, and you're always going to have more followers than leaders. And you have leaders that want to be leaders that shouldn't be leaders, and you have followers that shouldn't be followers that should be leaders. Okay, and because we don't have the right system to be able to sit there and kind of put people in the right position so that we can progress as a society, we are being led around by the people that we shouldn't be led around by because they are the most charismatic. They are the good-looking ones. People decide a president based upon whether or not he's handsome. If he's handsome, he's got to be a good guy. As if being pretty makes you a good person. But that's how people vote. So, okay. Well, see Aurora Borealis tonight? No, I don't think I will. So, okay, you sound spot on yeah. I mean, all I'm doing is preaching to the choir. I mean, we all know what's going on, and we're just trying to come together as a community and figure out what the hell to do. Okay, that's part of. Okay, so something that I'm working on, and I know I'm asking a lot of you guys. I know I got so much stuff going on, and this is what I'm working on with my career development or my business development specialist, is to kind of sit there and focus on one or two things instead of focusing on everything. Because when you focus on everything, you get nothing. Okay, focusing on one or two areas and that are going to be the most impactful that will help me reach my goals. And so I'm trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, while I'm still trying to figure that one out, and maybe you guys can tell me, what do you think are the two best things, points of contact for you? Is it the gear reviews and this? Is it email? Is it Patreon? What is it? I'm curious. But with Okay, spot on. Winter outside with Sam would be hard. Yes. Okay. So, but anyways, what I'm trying to do is I'd really like to create a community. Now, I know it's a paid access, but there's a reason for paid access. Paid access gives you privacy. Privacy is not free, just like freedom is not free. Okay, there is a price, and sometimes that price is easy. Sometimes that price isn't easy. You know, and it doesn't always have to cost money. It could be time, effort, energy, resources, goods, services, anything. Okay, and that's in trade. So, um, but when by doing that, we're able to have a community where people are able to act. Now, Jeremy and I are the only two people that are active there. He's more active than I am. We're trying to get more people in there, and I would love you guys that are already Patreon members to come over and make sure to get yourself involved in chat, because we need to start working together. We need to start networking. We need to start having points of success, because the thing is when we got successes that we could talk about. So, two of you, like, somebody needs seeds and somebody needs this. So you guys are able to trade and mail back and forth to each other, right? Well, now we have a success story. Now I can take that here to the general public and say, hey, look, we got a community. We're already trading things amongst each other. We're making sure that we're taken care of, because you may have something that I need and I have something that you need, and we're both abundant in it, but we don't have what we need, so therefore we can trade it. And you have that community with like-minded individuals that will have the types of resources that you're looking for. So therefore it becomes an opportunity to network, not only to be able to create wealth, because let's just say you're trading and it's going to make you money, and it's going to allow you to put a roof over your head, support yourself, whatever it may be. Okay, there's no judgment there. You do what you're going to do, as long as it's a fair trade. Whatever you do with it after you complete your trade is your business. Okay, unless stipulations are set. And I'm not going to set stipulations, because we're in a free and open market. If you can buy, sell, or trade it, and somebody finds value in it, go for it. Just be honest in all your dealings, because if you're not, I will figure out a way to exit you off the platform, because we need to be able to have trust within the community. The second you break trust is the second the community goes down south. And that's going to be the main thing that I worry about. But I would love you guys to come over to Patreon. If you're a $5 member for behind the scenes, or you're a $10 member for behind the scenes plus hobo tutorials, you will get access to the chat. Okay. I may do something that only gives you access to the chat, but for like $3 a month. That way, because again, you have to have a paywall to be able to have the privacy, because once there's pay, then the law looks at it differently, because there's an exchange, and so therefore it is consensual, it is not unilateral, all this other stuff. Okay, so it's for our protection, not your protection, not my protection, but our protection. Okay, so to be able to have that, to be able to communicate, you're not going to have onlookers that are coming in that could be predatory. I mean, they could, but we have the ability, because we become a tight knit community, because we know who's on our chat board, because I only have a limited amount of seats. I'm trying. I want to grow my Patreon, but I don't want it to get so far out of hand, and I may even drop the amount of seats just to be able to make sure that we have that we have the resources, but it's not so that everybody can be there. Those that are going to be proactive, that are going to see value in it and use it, because what's the point in paying for something if you're not going to use it, right? Okay, so the chat function is a way for the whole group, okay, to be able to communicate with yourselves, within the group, to be able to trade, get advice, get resources, get referrals. Think of it like a BNI group, man. If for those of you that know what BNI is, think of it like that. For those of you that don't know what BNI is, you guys have heard me talk about it a little bit. So you pay for a membership. It's an exclusive seat. Okay, there's only so many seats, and when I had janitorial, they would not let another janitorial person in there, because I had exclusivity. Okay, and because of that exclusivity within the group, we passed business. I had customers that needed what these guys did. These guys had customers that needed what I did. We pass business amongst each other. We give each other recognition. We network with each other. Okay, and then we do other things and go to events and build friendships and build relationships and things like that. Okay, but it requires that everybody participates. And if you don't, and they will not allow you to come back and renew your membership if you're not providing the same value that they are providing. If you got 34 leads and you only gave out 4 referrals, well, they ain't going to be bringing you back. They're going to be saying, have a nice day. Okay. We're not that extreme, but that's kind of the model in which I would like the chat function to be. It's a way for you guys to network, work with each other, trade things amongst each other, and to, regardless of what it may be. Okay. Because there's going to come a point when these connections are going to be extremely important to you because it's going to be part of your survival. And the same way that my connection with you guys right now is part of my survival. Jeremy sent me stuff. The others have sent me stuff. You guys leave stuff in my tip jar. You guys do all kinds of stuff. You leave super chats, super thanks, all that stuff. Okay. And that's how you're contributing to me. Okay. And helping me out. And then in return, I'm trying to give you guys valuable content so that it's a symbiotic relationship. Okay. Because you guys are along for the long haul. But anyways, I'm kind of digressing. And we're getting to a point where, because I only have about another 45 minutes before I have to be out of here. They only allow me a 2-hour window. So let's see this, and then we're going to start closing up. It looks like we got 20 people in here. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the share button, all that good stuff, okay? We've talked about some interesting stuff. If you're late to the party, after we're done, go back, start from the beginning. You missed a lot. Okay, so... okay, I'm new here. What do you do in this? I'm new here. What do we do in this life? Well, Tiger, this is for you guys to ask me any questions you want. Sometimes I'll make content about it. Sometimes I'll just answer your question just because the answer is quick and short enough to it's not really worth making a piece of video. And if somebody watches the live stream, they'll pick it up. Okay, that type of thing. But this is open mic. Whatever you guys want to talk about, and if you guys aren't talking about much, I ramble on and talk about the things that I want to talk about, and then we just kind of get into it together. Okay, I'm thinking do it all. PayPal, Cash App. No. Here's the thing. Okay, hold on. You can't just do everything. What is it that I'm good at? This is education. This is an educational and an advocate channel. Okay. So not only am I bringing homeless awareness, but I'm teaching you how to be homeless because I'm homeless and I can share my experiences with you. Okay. That's a point of value. Okay, so now I bring you over to Hobo Tutorials. Now I have to sit there and I have to worry about it. I got to look at it and I go, okay, I'm giving you guys tutorials over here. How do I give you more in-depth tutorials over here and kind of separate the two? Okay, and something like that may be counterproductive, which is probably why I don't have a lot of members, is because a lot of people like the behind the scenes because they know what's going on. Okay, so therefore I try not to share everything in the live stream. Okay, so if I'm bringing everything over here, what do I have to offer over there? Now I do have groups on Facebook and Reddit where you can sit there. It's an urban survival group. I share my articles, my videos. If I ever see anybody ask questions, I'll go in there, I'll answer them. I keep an eye on it every couple of days. Okay, but that's a lot of work. And then it requires marketing that group as well, because I may have 6 members, but I need like 500 to 1,000 members to make it to a point where I'm getting the return on the amount of time, effort, and energy that I'm doing, which is something that I can do. But is it worth doing right now, or what is it that I focus on? Because if I've got my attention drawn between too many things, everything kind of falls short instead of focusing my effort. So as you guys notice with the dumpster diver, you notice the quality of the editing. You notice that I did a little bit of sound effects and I used the music to be able to set emotional tones, to be able to draw you in, to kind of get you to forget. I let the chirping of the birds in the background kind of draw you in, and you kind of feel like you're standing there in the park with them listening to that stuff. And this is, but the thing is if I'm going to do that, if I got to take time to do that, that means I got to take time away from something else. Okay, is doing a better quality video with sound and effects and all that other stuff, and making it a lot more interactive, a lot more entertaining. Is that going to benefit me more with more views, more subscribers? Or is doing this group going to do it? Or is doing that going to do that? Or is this going to do that? Okay. And so I really have to focus on the things that are going to work and then branch out from there. But I have to have a solid foundation. You can't just do everything, because eventually you get overwhelmed, you get burnout. And I mean, I'm already exhausted. I mean, it's Saturday. Tuesdays is my longest day because I don't get done till 7, 8 o'clock. And then, I don't fall asleep till like midnight. And then I got people sometimes keep me up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I got people that are running up on me in the middle of the night. I got all kinds of weird crap. I had some dude last night try to run up on me, but I watched him in the reflection, turned around, scared the crap out of him. Oh, you got food. And and I'm like, I was ready to get out and handle business, but he walked off running his mouth per usual. So it is what it is. But dealing with all that, I have so much. I only have so much time, so much energy, so much effort, and it's got to get me to a point where I am housed. Because at this point, because of Sam, I need to be housed. There is too much outside interference. I need to be able to, leave her at the house and go film and not have to worry about her jerking me around, her having fits, her doing all this. And then that puts me in a bad mood, which then makes it hard for me to find content and stuff like that. So, as much as and then I can work on training her in my off time, but to be able to be more efficient in the time that I have. But yeah, I want to be able, I need to train her. I have to train her. I want her to be out in public with me because, again, she's got a channel and I'm showing her in public. I don't want to show her at home. I want to show her in public. I've got a video right now that I'm going to be editing probably tomorrow or Monday that's going to go up on her channel, which is Adventures of Sam the Dog, if you're not already subscribed. Okay, I'll keep supporting you as much as I can. You're giving me motivation that I've been lacking for years now that... okay, I'm glad I could give you motivation, man. I really am, Jeremy. And, again, showing up, watching the content, sharing the content. YouTube rewards me for engagement and for bringing more people onto the platform because their whole goal is to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So when you watch my video and then another video and then another video, I get credit for that as well. Okay, and because as content creators, our job is to keep you on this platform with engaging and entertaining content for as long as possible so that YouTube can keep selling you stuff so that we can keep making money. I mean, you see the cycle here. It's just, just give me my poison. You know what I mean? So I like the pizza short and the interview with the dumpster diver. Yes, he was definitely, I hope to get to meet him. And speaking of, since I'm in the process of closing this out, he inspired me. I'm gonna go. He's the second person that I've seen and I've heard. I think I met the old man that he's talking about, but he goes over to Covington from time to time. But no, that guy actually goes after cans. No, never mind. I wanna go, and I wanna do it for a few days. See what happens. See what I find. See what it works. I'm probably gonna try it for about 3 or 4 days. I'm gonna document my trip, stuff like that. But they're going to. I want to see exactly how lucrative this is because if I can do this and then and have that be more of a supplemental income to where I can get Sam and I into a place and really focus and kind of basically work 2 jobs essentially, I would do something like that. Okay, if it seems lucrative enough based upon the effort and energy that I'm putting out, so that it frees me up to be able to have the time to be able to focus on what it is that I need to focus on. Okay, so I'm thinking about doing it, but I will not be able to do it until next Wednesday at the very earliest, which is when I was planning on doing it because my cook set comes in on Monday. My food stamps come in on Wednesday, and in that way, Sam and I will be, eating and cooking on the road. And so, I'm thinking about starting to do some morning videos of, with me cooking and making meals and stuff like that, because I want to cover that as another topic. I think that's something that may be of interest within the homeless community of how to be able to eat good while living on a budget, especially with the things that you have on hand. So they've been doing LOTR in theaters again. Oh, Lord of the Rings, first weekend of June, 1 showing each per movie, 4K IMAX. Nice, good to know. What's the purpose of life? To experience. Personally, I think sound more important than image. Yes. Also sound more complicated. Yes. You're right on both points, and I hope that the sound is good here. It looks like I've been retaining people, so, of course, some training videos. Yes. Okay. You guys are giving me feedback, and I really love that you guys are participating in the polls. it makes a huge difference. Okay. So I got to say thank you very much. All right. With that being said, you know how to help the channel, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, all that other stuff's down in the description. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter at hobotuck.com. I will see you in the next live stream. Thank you for watching. I will see you Tuesday evening from the road.